Siko Solo, nasema Siko Solo, nikitamka hilo jina la Yesu, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Siko Solo Podcast.
Yeah.
Finally, a podcast aimed at creating awareness on mental health awareness, and also destigmatizing. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Reducing stigma on mental health and issues around mental health disorders, all that, and just making sure that we normalize the conversation amongst young people and everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's us. I'm Manolo.
And I'm Monari.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're excited to be here, Mazi.
We want to know the second name.
Monari.
No, the other one.
Monari.
No, the other one is the one we need to know.
Nari.
Thank you, Mora, for that.
Okay, Macau.
Wow.
So, Manolo,
Yeah,
tell us what's mental health?
Mental health just refers to cognitive or psychological, emotional, and behavioral well-being. Yani, it has everything to do with how we think, how we behave, you know, and how we do stuff, how we process things. All that is in there in mental health. And you know, of course, now mental health disorder is anything. It's this array, or there are all these many conditions that alter that you know, is now mess now how we think, how we behave. Yeah,
definitely. I really like what we're doing here at Siko Solo, which involves just getting to understand this whole space and this whole world of mental health. So much is being talked about, especially today in social media, about different conditions, different issues that are coming up, whether it's at a personal level, at work, at home, and we just want to have that conversation in our sessions, you know, just talk through them, get to learn and understand exactly what these issues are and how they affect us.
Yeah, you know, for those who've been with us, we started in 2020 during, you know, the pandemic. This is COVID, and for me at that time as Manolo, I was going through a lot, you know, just aside from the pandemic was just like, in fact, I felt like it came to slow down things for me in a way, because I had to close down work. We relaxed. I'm a musician, but at the same time I have a business that deals in branding. So shout out to Ambrosman. Check us out. Yo, the merch. So it came to slow things down for me, and I was going through all this, and you know, a friend of mine just reached out, and as we were talking, you know, she kept on talking about, you know, her mental well-being and mental health. And for me, for the first time, I actually now went into reading about it and just trying to figure out, okay, so what is all this about? I had never before imagined that. And so I got this interest, and I started reaching out to people who I know who are in the field as well, and you know, just trying to figure it out kabisa kweli. And so the worrying thing and the troubling thing for me was, why has it taken like over 25 years for me now to start talking about this? You know, why has it taken so long? I know so many things, you know, there are all those things we've been taught, do physics, do what, but one of the most important things in our lives, or in just how we live, you know, the state of our mental health, or how we are mentally, is something I'd never paid attention to. And I was like, am I ignorant? No,
you are just 4 years or 5 years old. Because umesema 25 years ago you didn't think about starting this. No, Jana Shanga.
No.
Manolo alikwanga preschool akifikiria.
It's only Monari.
What is mental health?
Only Monari. It's only Monari who can. I was going deep. And then
I started when I was 4 years old, man.
Yeah, it's okay. It's sour. Misawa. Thank God that now thank you, Blueberry. But shout out to Blueberry Africa for partnering with us in this, bringing this podcast to you. Anyway, so it just that was the problem for me. I was like, why has it taken so long for me to start talking about this? And then I realized, wow, I couldn't talk about this at school with any of my teachers. Then I realized, wow, I couldn't talk about this at home with even my parents. Then I realized, oh my, I couldn't talk about this at church as well. If you for some of our churches in that space, being a gospel musician and being like a minister or minister, I feel like that word.
Say it with your chest.
Serving in church, being a servant of the Lord, being a servant of the Lord,
Jesus Christ.
But serving in church for so long, I realized that our response to any hey, this is what I'm going through. I feel like I'm not in a good space. Our response has always been, let's pray about it.
Yeah.
And then it ends there, which is not bad. Praying is good, but it ending there.
Yeah.
And so that's how Siko Solo came about, because I realized also that a big chunk of the biggest line ilikuwa na feel at that time, or that I had fed myself in a way, was that I was alone in this. I'm alone in this. I felt like I'm alone in this. No one can help me. Niko peke yangu. I'm the only one who's going through this. And I felt like I came to realize that was such a lie, because there's always someone around who can help. There's always someone who has a heart for you. There's always, like, it's how God designed us. He designed us for community. Yeah. So that's how I came into this space of mental health.
Definitely.
Then I met with Monari. Fortunately.
So Manolo, I've known Manolo for some time now, and we have a good friendship. And so
friends only.
Hey. So sometime in 2020, as he said, he reached out and he told me about, like, we were just catching up on life and where we are na venye hiyo pandemic ilikuwa imetu hit maze. So he reached out with I've been thinking about this and I really want to contribute to raising awareness, and I feel like I think we can use social media as a platform. I have something here, so express the idea to me, and that's where Siko Solo started.
And Siko Solo, for those who don't know, Siko Solo is Swahili, or is it slang? Kiswahili, but it means you're not alone. You're not alone. That's what Siko Solo stands for, and it means, and we are all about mental health awareness, because see, here we are, I'm a gospel musician, and Monari, Pastor Monari, where do we go? Where do we start?
Let's just say that I have worked in the church space as a creative, leading worship, leading teams. So if you hear Manolo saying pastor, si ati nimekuwa ordained.
Ni mwito huyo,
ni mwito. Sijavaa kola.
Ni mwito. Ni bati.
But then I work in that space,
so we're two people who've never been to a psychology class, we've studied different things.
Definitely.
And so we're coming in and saying we are not experts, but we want to do something about this. And so for us it's just to make noise about it, make sure that we talk about it, and then one way or another we met now with people who've gone to school for this, who understand what it means, who can diagnose by
who can diagnose
and so that shout out to Hisia psychology consultants and Nancy Kafiru. I think those were the first time meeting people who actually now do this every day. Shout out to them. They really walked with us, and they're still walking with us in this journey. And so now we are able to connect with experts and send people to people who can help them. And that was good for us. We started doing IG lives. That's where we met some of you guys. And so weekly IG lives, and we were doing that for a while, and they were really nice. We tackled a couple of issues. We had a couple of guests come in. Shout out to Pastor Emma Karitu.
Yeah, Esther
Kazungu.
Winnie Salome.
Yes, Winnie shared her story on our IG lives.
Yeah.
And shout out to you who has been with us on that journey. Na sasa tuko hapa. Hapa ambapo tunakupatia ujumbe kwa 4K. Waelewa?
Definitely.
Kwa
I really
1080.
love how Siko Solo is growing and that we're able to reach a wider audience now through this partnership with Blueberry Africa. I'm super, super excited.
Yeah.
So this is our first episode and we have many more lined up, and we want to just tackle a wide array of topics in the mental health space.
Yes.
From how costly it is to get services, what's happening with men and mental health, what's the positive impact of social media on our mental health, well-being.
Yes.
On the flip side, what's the negative impact of that?
We have people who come and share their stories, people who went through addiction, like serious addiction, and now they survived that and they're living well, and they moved past that. People who went through so much
definitely
in terms of mental health disorders, but came out as winners on the other side. So we have all that lined up, and at the end of the day, we just want you to be okay, and we want you to live life and life in abundance.
Come on.
Live life and live it in abundance, you know. And so we are happy to have you, and you're welcome here. This is a safe space. You can reach us anytime. We have our social media handles pale Siko Solo.
At Siko_Solo.
At Siko_Solo. On Instagram. So you DM us, we'll be there with you. Personally, I'm Manolo_KE.
Mary_Monari.
Yes, and of course we'll be opening up more and more channels whereby you can reach us, and maybe even one day we can sit down face to face tuonane. Wanna see you.
Definitely. So can we get into like our topic?
Let's get into it. Let's get unafanya feeling kana funny now mikono.
So today we want to talk about a very interesting, very, very interesting subject. And that is toxicity. So the toxic workspace. So what does that mean, this toxic work environment, and how it affects our mental health?
We all have to, sometimes I get to a place where I ask myself, then why did we grow up? As in, was this it? Was all of that was for this? Like to wake up every day, go look for secure the bag, go back home, wake up tomorrow, secure the bag again. And so, I mean, we all have to work. The good book says, usipofanya kazi utalala njaa.
Definitely.
So, but now we have, unfortunately, we have some workspaces that are not that, environments that are not that healthy for us, and they eventually lead to very serious mental health issues. Just because of how the space is set up. And so, we are talking to employers, we are talking to heads of organizations today, but we're also talking to the employees and colleagues, and I hope at the end of this you'll get one or two things that will change your life.
Definitely. So I have a set of questions here, Manolo, that I want us to kind of walk through to better understand the topic. And question number 1 is, we have to define what a toxic workspace looks like. So in your own words, in what you understand, what would you define a toxic workspace environment to be?
Is a place where you don't like working there. For me, that's just it. Like you work there unavumilia kufanya kazi hapo, you survive at work. So if you find that the worst time of the day for you is when you're entering the office or you're getting in there, I feel like that place is already toxic for you.
I think for me, what I found is that a toxic work environment is a space where where that work environment affects your overall well-being
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's a term I came across called incivility, behavior that's demeaning, damaging, or dangerous to you. So
can you translate that to Shembeteng? Because I'm not getting you. Yeah.
tutapata award yake. Tutapata award yake. Mi sijui.
Hii galu tumeilomboto.
But then generally like a place that affects your overall well-being negatively.
Yeah.
We've had so many stories and so many issues arise from this subject that have either been highlighted on TV, on social media. Pale Twitter kumekuwa na some exchanges of, this is #toxic in the workspace. So at least we all kind of have like an idea of what a toxic environment looks like.
Yeah.
But then I just want us to mention what are some of these indicators of this is toxic.
My red flags.
Yeah, red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think one of the indicators, first and foremost, is a place where there's no work-life balance.
Okay.
Like you're working, you work, you sleep, you work again, you sleep.
Yeah.
You have no, and I've met people who are like that. You work on the Sundays, you work, you sleep, you work, you sleep. And even myself, especially when you're self-employed, you get to this place where you're just on go. And you create that for yourself. It's not even created, because most of the times when we talk about this is we tend to play the victim.
Yeah.
Like people I was in a toxic work environment and it was created by this person. And this is what they had done to me to make me feel like this, which is okay, it's valid. But I also feel like, especially if you're self-employed or even just if you're employed, you can create that sphere for yourself where the toxicity is coming from your own ideologies. Example, tutalala tukikufa, we're on grind, on go, don't sleep, there's this very famous song by this guy called Post Malone, I think. He says, work so hard, forget how to vacation.
Dangerous.
Mchangaji, unajua hiyo? Sababu naona nimekuchanganya kidogo. Yeah, but those two notions, I'm on go, I'm grinding, and then so you only sleep for like 4 hours and you come back to work. Sleep, shower, work. Sleep,
so we could say it's disproportionate work hours.
Sijui ungeniambia podcast ni kujanga na dictionary juu venye unanipeleka ulianza na insisitana sasa umeingia anyway, disproportionate work hours.
Yeah. I think another sign that's super clear that this is a toxic space is where there's harassment. So any form of harassment, it could be physical harassment where yenye unapigwa mablow, someone is angry at you and there's a slap that is waiting for you, my friend. Or emotional harassment where you're constantly in a negative mind space, or psychological.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've come across the term gaslighting.
Yes, I have.
When your reality is downplayed by someone in the workspace, and it could be the reality of a lack of transparency of what the goal is here or what your tasks look like, or that when you're experiencing a challenge, it's not recognized or noticed or made valid. So nika unakwanga tu kwa dunia yako ya mashida na ukwame tu hapo. So I think harassment is something big. Manipulation, especially where there's like a power play between employers and employees. So kuna wase wenye maze, they just take advantage of that kind of situation.
I've seen that a lot, and it's funny. I mean, not funny, but it's good that you talk about harassment, because I've seen even, we're talking about workspace. So for the house helps, that there are people who, because a lot of house helps tend to be young, because especially wale those people who are anapiga ushago, nitafutie mtu ambaye anaweza taka kazi, and so ule mtu atatumwa ni ule mwenye amemaliza high school, ana hang around akitafuta life. So ataambiwa ende utafute life ukiwaka Nairobi hapa, and so akiwa hapo, so you've hired this probably 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 18, and then you have them there. They're probably as young as your firstborn or secondborn. So wewe unamchapa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it gets crazy, that environment people have created for these guys. And so this, imagine what this girl or guy feels. I mean, nimetoka all these kilometers from home and here I am with a very cruel person.
Definitely.
And
yeah, I think another one is a culture that is constantly around foul language, disrespect. It's belittling, it's shaming, just that kind of environment. Imagine being in a space where either hiyo siku umetusiwa, umechekelewa, ama like someone has just said something that's downright disrespectful to you.
Yeah, I see that a lot. And we're talking about things that happen day in, day out. Hata wewe najua, in your own way, you can think of places where you've seen this. And I'm thinking about cliques. Workspace yenye kuna two cliques, kuna tu rende. You can't sit with us.
Yeah.
You can't be with us. You
Imagine.
Can't act like that.
Like high school all over again.
Exactly. And now that's a workspace, and you have to work there, and sometimes even the person in that clique, one of them is like your direct boss.
Yeah.
So they really make it hard for you.
Definitely.
They make things super difficult for you.
Definitely. Manolo, I have a question. I don't
Ask
know
me.
if you would define, or we can define this as being toxic, or just bad, right? When there's like an overstep on personal boundaries, like you receive a call at 2 a.m. nataka sasa unijenge hii job na inatakikana kesho by 7,
Man,
that
I
kind
don't know.
of
And
behavior.
yeah, I just think it's not healthy. Okay, being younger from perspective, I've employed before. I even right now I've employed a couple of people. Now sometimes inabidi, but not all the time. Sometimes, to be honest, inabidi. Sometimes I have to, because this person ye pekee ndio atasort ile issue inaendelea. So I know they're off work, I know they're off hours, and so, but how I approach it also will determine how it lands. So I call this person, I'm like, hey, niaje, I know you're off work. I mean, it's not your obligation, but please, could you do this? But it's not all the time. It's not all the time. But now I have a situation whereby I'm hanging out with a couple of my friends, and one of them anakimbia huko kwa parking kutafuta sijui mapassword za nini kila saa, mpaka we're like, is it really a Sunday? Are you really off? Because and it's like, nimezoea, this is what happens all the time. And it's like, the problem is, it's like, usipofanya kuna watu watafanya. Usipofanya, if you can't, we'll get someone who can do it.
Definitely. I think we'll touch on that point, like usipofanya, someone else is gonna do it a bit later on, because I feel like it kind of affects how we are able to articulate that maze, I'm genuinely in a toxic space, and I'm struggling with what I can do about it. But then those are some of the points that we've kind of talked through and discussed as these are probable indicators that this kind of environment I'm in is toxic and potentially dangerous and damaging to who I am.
Please do let us know if you have any other red flags that we've left out pale kwa comment section. Just let us know so that tunaenrichiana
so not only negative, there's not only a negative impact on you as a person, but then also on the kind of work you're able to produce. I mean, if you're giving people unrealistic and unreasonable work hours to push through something, that quality is gonna be affected at some point. The output, the threshold for what is good and not good is gonna be affected, because people are not in a good rhythm to be able to work well.
I feel like, because you said that, I've remembered one very important one. Where your work and your compensation, they are not matching. So there are people who've been, and this is real. I've met people who've not been promoted. They've been in the same space for 10 years. A decade. Watu wamekam, wanapanda, wanabaki hapo.
That's harsh.
And then the problem is, in those 10 years, your roles, your JD, yani zimeongezeka. You do this, you do this, just because of experience. Even if a new person comes, you're the one who will teach them around the ropes, show them the ropes. Hey man, but
lakini umekwama tu pale pale
na mshahara yako imekwama hapo, inflation inapelekana tu nayo
That's bad because life is changing and it's happening to everyone.
Exactly.
So you hope that you're plugged into a space where you can see growth, career progression. It might not even be necessarily the money could change, but then your work is still the same. Right? I mean, what does that do to you as a person? Kwani you can only give us or deliver to this extent.
Exactly. And there's a new emerging one whereby because of COVID now people had to work home, work from home, and everyone's like, I don't have to go to the office anymore. I can just work in my shorts. Wapi yani, because now mdosi anajua ukiamka unaingia kwa laptop tu hapo next to you. There's no that like
separation of personal and
so after 9 p.m. just checking the company. So,
definitely.
So people are finding themselves, working more hours significantly than what they used to, and the balance inapotea sasa.
Definitely. And I feel like just as we go into the next question, people are not robots. Like we experience life, we experience feelings, we experience just the rhythms of living.
That's all from us today here at Siko Solo. Shout out to Blueberry for partnering with us in bringing you these episodes. This was episode 1 talking about toxic work spaces, and we are happy to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining in, and I can't wait for the next one.